Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian welcoming you back to Draft Day Sports Pro Football 2022 as the Cleveland Browns. It looks like we're not predicted to do so hot. It looks like they're predicting the Ravens to win the division. But we'll see how that turns out. Right. So in our last episode, we completed the offseason. And we've made some pretty drastic changes to the roster. I think for the better, and I hope you do too. Our quarterback is now Kirk Cousins. Now, Kirk Cousins doesn't have the raw arm talent that Baker Mayfield did, but I'm hoping he'll be a reliable steward of the team for a year while we figure out what we've got with the rest of our franchise. Next up on our offseason acquisition list is Marshall Williams, a center that we drafted in the third round, who already looks like he could replace J.C. Treader right now. But we're going to let the old man have his moment in the sun and probably just not re-sign him at the end of the year. We have our same tight end room, but we added a much-needed playmaker to our offense in Tyreek Hill, who is real fast. I think that is a fair thing to say, that he is real fast. On defense, we added a couple of mid-tier cornerbacks to strengthen up our secondary in Trayvon Mullen and Carlton Davis III. And we also added a big new defensive rookie in Stephen Burton, our new defensive tackle. Now, he is undersized for a defensive tackle. You typically see your DTs be closer to 300 pounds, so he may not be a defensive tackle forever. But I love his raw strength, and I'm really eager to see how he does over the course of a full season. We also added Dalvin Tomlinson to give a little bit more veteran leadership on the defensive line. And the rest of our team remains quite similar. We added a few more draft picks. We've got an intriguing young tackle that's going to be starting for us named David Pardo. He's going to be starting at right tackle this year after we let Jack Conklin walk in free agency. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting season, and I have no idea how it's going to go. I mean, last season we went, 4-12, which is obviously not great, and I'm hoping that we can do better. 6-11, sorry. We end up with a 4th overall pick, which is how we got our defensive tackle, but I don't know. Now, do we have a new regular season? No, it's literally the exact same schedule again. Friends, I'm going to quickly look into this, and I will be right back. Sorry about that, my friends. I have returned, and after doing some research on the forums, I think unless we manually import a custom schedule every time because it started with a custom schedule, I can't really do anything to vary up the schedule, which is a little bit disappointing. I'm getting tired of this exact same schedule every season, but I know now, and I can try to get a new schedule for next season before the season starts. So it is what it is. Let us go ahead and see how things will go in the preseason, shall we? A glorious victory. A rookie played because it's a preseason. That makes perfect sense. A good game by Hiron, one of our other rookies. We got him in the 5th round, so glad to see him doing well. And already notice the explosiveness that Tyreek Hill adds to our offense. We've been missing this for quite a while. That's going to make us a much more effective team, I think, if we can keep that up in the regular season. And then yeah, I don't get why this is saying we have too much salary on the books for next season. That's not accurate. Like, what the hell is going on here? We have $182 million on the books next season. It makes it sound like you're trying to tell me I can't sign him? Like, I just don't get it. I don't get why this problem is happening. I wonder because I'm doing it during the preseason, and the game doesn't think 2024 has actually started yet. So we're going to check again once the regular season starts. I think that's maybe a minor glitch. The Dolphins did beat us, which is a shame, but it is only the preseason. Anything important happened there? So let's talk a little bit about schemes. And specifically, what kind of scheme we actually have. According to our head coach, according to our offense coordinator, we have what's called the conservative style of offense with a spread. If we went with the head coach. Now, spread offense is lots and lots of multiple receiver sets. Typically, 4 wide receivers, maybe even 5. With the idea being you spread the ball out to receivers, and there's so many targets on the field that they can't all be covered. The spread is really well designed if you have a really great, accurate quarterback with lots of really talented receivers. We don't have that. Instead, we're leaning a bit more heavily on our offensive coordinator, Hugh Jones, here. And let's talk about what he runs. Actually, here we go, Hugh Jones. And then James Root. And there's game planning. He runs what's called the West Coast offense, which I think is absolutely perfect for the kind of roster we're trying to run. The West Coast offense was developed by... God, I'm blanking. What the hell is wrong with me? The guy who was the coach of the 49ers. Bill Walsh? Bill Walsh. I'm sorry, if you're a fan of the 49ers and I just butchered his name, I don't know why I can't remember his name, but I'm pretty sure that's right, Bill Walsh. In which it relies heavily on increasing your completion percentage and having lots of short, easy throws that can turn into big throws because you have really talented wide receivers. Like when the 49ers had Jerry Rice, of course, who's one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time. That was the kind of offense that it was running. It also features a strong running game, and we have that in spades. So that's why I decided to go with that. Let's also talk about the defensive schemes they're currently running. We are running what's called a 5-2 defense. In a 5-2 defense, we have 2 linebackers and 5 defensive backs. Along with the then 4 defensive linemen. This is a lineup that is basically geared to counter the spread. You have lots of defensive backs on the field, which means you can either play 3 corner, 2 safety, or even 3 safety, 2 corner. If you want to go with a creative zone, and it can be really effective if you have the DBs for it, which we do. Basically what will happen is one of the safeties, especially go with 3 safeties, might creep up closer to the line of scrimmage and give some extra support to the existing linebackers. So that is the defense we're running right now, and that's the offense that we're running. A West Coast offense and a 5-2 defense. Which is pretty interesting. A narrow defeat. What a tragedy. A narrow defeat, though, in the preseason. Look at Kirk Cousins. You can't complain about 100% accuracy rate. 15-yard pass from Kirk Cousins. That's very exciting. I don't want to watch the whole game. And that's fine. I just really want to see if Hill caught the ball like back of the line of scrimmage and then ran it, or if he actually got thrown deep, but it doesn't matter to me that much. How does everyone have blurred vision? It's pretty bonkers. All right, my friends, let us take our first actual game and see what we can manage against the Chiefs. I have too many cornerbacks. How do I have too many? What are you talking about? I don't have too many corners, do I? Let's go to the roster management screen. I only have 53 players. You're saying I can only have 6 corners? And I have 7, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It checks out. Well, I don't really need Donald Billiot. I guess he can move to the practice squad. And then the question becomes, what position would I like another player at? Let's get a backup defensive end just in case something goes wrong. I think I'd feel better with a bit more depth there. Let's try to find ourselves an engaging defensive end. It happened again, guys. Patrick Mahomes once again does not have a job. So you literally signed him for a huge amount of money and then cut him. How? How does this keep happening? What is so badly broken about this game that he got cut? Oh my god, game. And I can't see his contract stuff, so I don't actually know what happened there. Like, look at this. Look at this ridiculousness. DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones. It's ridiculous. I don't know why this keeps happening. I don't know what it is about this thing. Can I see a transaction log, please, and find out when he got cut? Where is he getting cut here? Yeah, here we go. The Vikings just cut him at the beginning of the preseason. It's ridiculous. Man. Like, it can't be that everyone's cap space just keeps getting obliterated, right? But I mean, I can't fix it. It's just going to keep happening. Like, the only people who could maybe... Here's what I think the problem is. This, I think, is the big problem. The game doesn't know that you have to take less money. The contract model looks at Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes says, I'm getting paid what I'm worth. And no one can afford him because they all piss away their cap space. And that creates a problem. Now, hopefully, cutting some players will help. And maybe someone else will be able to afford him. But it's just going to keep happening. Which is a real shame. Because it really destroys my immersion and my... Like, I almost have to force myself to make bad moves. Because otherwise I can just get premium talent for pennies on the dollar. I'll have to give it some thought. But we're going to go and go through this season, and we're going to see what we end up with. Let's grab... Draymond Jones. I think he's a reliable defensive end, and he's not going to break the bank for me. Let's sim the first week. A victory. Not a glorious victory, but a victory nonetheless. Way to go, Baker Mayfield, you jackass. Oh, now you know how to pass. Not a great game for Kirk Cousins, unfortunately. They really went all out shutting down Tyreek Hill, and you'd think they'd know him quite well, and clearly they do. I mean, I'll take the win, but our offense can't be this unproductive if we hope to have a big season. We didn't even sack him. No, we did sack him twice. Who got the sacks? Tommy Togiai. And Jason Estes, our linebacker. That's pretty cool. Like, I'll definitely take the W. I'm not going to complain about that much, but that's not great. Okay. He would like to earn more money with Jedrick Wills. John Johnson is apparently furious. That's fine. Let's try to grab Jedrick Wills. He's the most important person to sign this offseason. I'm gonna offer you $13 million. Submit offer. I'd love to bring back John Johnson, but to be perfectly blunt with you, I don't feel obligated to do it. I could always just franchise him. And I just want to see how he does. So for right now, I'm not going to mess with that. Okay, that's a much more impressive outing. 38-0. That's a great day for the defense. A nice distribution of the running load. I'd love to see that. We really ran all over him. But a big day for Tyreek Hill, who is targeted 10 times, caught 6. Look at that average, though. This is what we're after. Lutz did miss an easy field goal, but hey, nobody's perfect. Big day for Jason Estes. John Johnson III got a sack, as did Myles Garrett. Denzel Ward active in the passing game, including an interception. That is excellent. Let us keep this up, my friends. Let us continue to perform at this level, and we should have an excellent season. All right, we got Jedrick Wills. That's brilliant. And he's injured. Game. Next man up. Jedrick Wills isn't coming back anytime soon. Well, we did get another victory. Pretty good. Like, this is still not brilliant passing performances, but what he is he's not making big mistakes, and he's being fairly accurate, and that's what this offense needs to truly succeed. He did miss a field goal, because of course he did. A big day for Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney. Good stuff, my friends. Good stuff. I don't really see that the offensive tackle I spent the 4th overall pick on is really seeing a lot of playing time, and that does concern me. Let's quickly take a look at the depth chart and see if they've done something to mess it up. Like, I want him making 60, 70 snaps a game. If he isn't, I would like to know why. So we're going to check out The defense. No, he's a starting defensive tackle. It just seems like there's something about him that's just struggling to have a big impact. Although, it's important to note that defensive tackles don't impact games like other players do. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is the biggest thing many defensive tackles can do for you is just occupy space so that they have to be double teamed by offensive linemen, thus opening the door for edge rushers like Myles Garrett or Jadeveon Clowney, or one of our linebackers like maybe Jason Estes or Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. That's kind of what they're for. And so that means that occasionally a player will look to be a little bit less effective than they ought to be. That's just how it is sometimes, unfortunately. Yeah, we're not getting Jedrick Wills back anytime soon, and that does deeply concern me. That does deeply concern me. Okay, I want Grant Delpit. Grant Delpit is a good egg and is otherwise an excellent player. I'd like him to stay with the Browns for at least another few seasons. So let's look at strong safeties. Oh, I do want to try to bring him back too, I guess. He is a very, very good player. It's just... how about a 3-year deal for $15 million each? And we'll look at free safeties, and we'll grab Grant Delpit. Yeah, if this is the contract you want, I will happily hand it to you, my friend. No question whatsoever. We'll get those contracts working on, and we'll sim this week. A glorious victory as Kirk Cousins has a great game against his old team. That's excellent to see. This is the kind of game we just weren't getting from Baker Mayfield. Very high percentages, very few mistakes, and Tyreek Hill covers an awful lot of problems. But let's look at the big game Brian Duran had. Along with some pretty good performances by the remaining roster as well. A good but not brilliant running day, although look at Rudy Herone. Or Raymond Herone. He's already proven to be an exceptional talent at running back, which I like to see. He missed a 50-yarder. That's whatever. Clowney, Garrett, Burton got us for a sack, as did Tommy Togiai. Very nice. Who was starting at offensive tackle? It's James Hudson, right? He missed 5 blocks. He is not an ideal offensive lineman, but we kind of knew that coming in. And the Chargers are a lot harder than anything we've faced so far. They're still looking. Oh, damn. Kenneth Dixon's being a little bitch. That's pretty funny, actually. I like that, though. And we can't get through to Jason Estes either. That's fine. As long as they play well on the field, I don't care how well they're mentored, but it is a bit disappointing. Okay, let's go to free agency, and let's see if we can't pick up a quality offensive tackle while we don't have, what's his face? I could grab Isaiah Wynn. I mean, I could grab Trent fucking Williams, but I'm trying to behave myself. I'm trying to be good and not just instantly sign the megastars, but it's getting hard. There has to be some kind of mechanic in this game. There has to be something that will convince players to take less. Here's the thing. He signed for the minimum. And no one's touching him. And I guess that's what really floors me. There's clearly something wrong with the AI here that is really annoying me right now. But it's alright. I'll get over it. Mr. Jedrick Wills, Isaiah Wynn is the offensive tackle until you're healthy again. That should help us a bit. Yeah, James Hudson's not very good. Too many players. Oh, I do have too many players on my active roster, don't I? I can't put him on the injured reserve because then I can't get him back. So we're going to need to find somebody to send to the practice squad. I'm just going to go ahead and move James Hudson to the practice squad, and we'll see what that does. Ooh, we got beat pretty badly. Yep, Cousins struggled. Still not as many mistakes, though. But we just weren't as effective on offense as we need to be. Jarvis Landry is hardly playing at all, and if that's the case, it makes very little sense to keep him on the roster. But we might think about something else. Really, this is about the defense fucking up. I mean, you don't give up 37 points without some pretty massive defensive issues. Although this kickoff return is definitely pretty yikes. Yeah, I mean, we just got picked apart by Justin Herbert, and we did get some pressure on him, but clearly not enough. Burton got a couple tackles for loss. He's having a good season for sure, just not a great one. And lots of penalties. Okay, this is definitely concerning if we're getting lots of people making lots of penalties. But it's only one game. And hopefully we can learn from this and grow. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why I keep saying, oh, it won't fit into the salary for next season. Yes, it fucking will. Don't be stupid, game. The cap is $260 million. I have less than $200 million in contracts. How does it not fit? Game. Anyway. Mr. Grant Delpit wants a little bit more money, and I think that's fair. Let's offer him $7 million. Okay. Oh, excellent. Look at that. Look at Denzel Ward stepping up. You love to see that. A big run from Nick Chubb. This is the Browns offense right here. This is what we like to see. Four sacks of their quarterback. Garrett, Estes, Burton again, Togiai. Ward had himself a day, defending 3 passes. Excellent news. Penalty is still a bit of an issue, but I think it is getting better. Delpit took my offer. Excellent. Let's play the Broncos. Excellent. How did they end up with Deshaun Watson? That's pretty wild. 4 touchdowns for Kirk Cousins, though. Okay, Tyreek Hill caught 3 touchdowns. Isn't it amazing how one pass catcher can just completely change an offense? And a quarterback who just isn't making mistakes the way that the old guy was. The so far looking like a very strong team. You love to see it. Look at this day for Myles Garrett. Big man getting it done. Another sack for Burton. Brilliant. Oh, Carlton Davis got an interception for a touchdown. I would say Myles Garrett's day was more important, but I'll take it. We've blown past the trading deadline, which is fine. I didn't really feel like trading anybody. Yeah, well, go to hell, Woodworth. Wait, did I see? Well, no, it's Donovan Peoples-Jones. I would like to bring him back, actually. I do think Donovan Peoples-Jones is a quality receiver. And even though his statistical record isn't, like, anything amazing, he's a pretty decent receiver. And I can probably get him for relatively cheap. Or maybe I just let him go. I mean, the man was targeted 3 times for 12 yards so far. Like, what does he want to come back? He wants a pretty big contract for a player who hasn't really earned it yet. Maybe we'll pass on that. John Johnson III. $16 million. I want 4 years. And we're going to actually make this backloaded. And see what that does for him. Because I definitely want him back. He's a big player on our offense. Or defense, rather. Who else's contract is up that I'd like to try to bring back? Especially if I can do so cheaply. That's the operative word, is cheaply. Jarvis Landry is just not worth it to me. It's not worth it to me to bring him back. I know he's a good player, but he's a little bit too expensive. Treader I can also let walk with confidence that he will have a good season. That we will have a good replacement built in for him. I wouldn't mind bringing back Cousins for a year, maybe. While we look for our next big quarterback, I think that actually makes a lot of sense. Let's see if we can get him to come back for 2 years. And see if that works for us. If I want to keep my corners together, and I do, let's talk to Trayvon Mullen. He wants a lot of money. I will give him what he's asking for. And last but certainly not least, maybe Carlton Davis, perhaps? But Dalvin Tomlinson would be a waste of money. He's not even playing all that frequently, and he's definitely hasn't been as disruptive as Burton or Togiai. I think the tackle rotation is actually better with the two of them. Togiai is having another outstanding season. He doesn't play all the time, but when he does play, he makes a big impact. 7 tackles and 3 sacks is pretty solid, I think. I think that's a good start, and then we'll see how things look once some of these other contracts are signed. Can we beat the Steelers? This is our first big test because they are mortal nemesis. The answer is no, apparently. We cannot. Look at this bullshit, though. What have I said repeatedly? We needed a player who didn't make mistakes. Well, Kirk fucking Cousins gave up 3 interceptions. That is not good. This is not what you're here for, my friend. This cannot happen again. Like, we had a pretty solid defensive game. I'm not unhappy with how the defense performed. It's not their fault when we keep turning the damn ball over. And a lot of whiffed blocks, too. Well, that's a humbling performance, and I don't like it. Don't do that again. Okay? Wills is probable. Cousins is furious. Oh my god. No, it wouldn't. What are you talking about, game? Okay. Let me make sure I'm not going crazy here. The salary cap is $260 million, right? Yes. So why do you keep freaking telling me a $10 million contract would put me over the cap? Man. And we just got destroyed by the Bengals. This is very bad. This is very bad indeed. We didn't turn the ball over, but we just got beaten. Guys, if we can't beat up people in the AFC North, we're never going to have a good showing, I don't think. Okay, we did lose Treader. We lost to the Patriots. This shit can't keep happening, guys. We can't keep losing. Like, this is the exact same team that performed so well. Okay, yes, the Patriots shut down the run. That definitely doesn't help. But guys, this can't keep happening. We cannot keep playing down to our competition. We need to be playing our very best football as we get later into the season. Because otherwise, we're not going to be competitive. We're not going to... If we make the playoffs, they're going to run out of steam real fast. We got to do something here, guys. Okay, we get Jedrick Wills back this week. That's very good news. Very good news indeed. Let's go ahead and put Jedrick Wills back as our starting defensive tackle. Oh, there we go. And then Isaiah Wynn can be the backup. We narrowly beat the fucking Lions, but I guess we did beat them, so good for us. But holy shit, guys. And they shut down the run again. That's disconcerting. And they neutralized Tyreek Hill. The defense was active. Nothing on the stat sheet for Burton, though. That's not ideal. I'd love to bring some of these guys back, but the game keeps being weird. And like, oh, it's going to put you over the cap. It's not going to put me over the cap, guys. It's just not. Alright. Trayvon Mullen, have you been having a good season? Or am I wasting my time bringing you back? Let's look defensively. Let's check you out, my friend. Corners, please. Mullen is the number 2 tackling corner. He has 3 interceptions. He's been targeted a lot, but hasn't allowed very many catches. He's actually a pretty important component to our defense, so I think we're going to go ahead and try to bring him back. Let's increase this to 15.5 and see if that gets him signed. Let me look at free safety. Grant Delpit having another very strong season. I'm pretty happy with that. He's not great in pass coverage. He was targeted 39 times and allowed to catch 34 times. He could be a little bit better in pass coverage. If we look at his profile here, he's got good speed, good agility. Maybe he just needs some more reps, but what I have is not terrible. I just need him to be a bit more productive. I would like to bring you back, but let's figure it out after we see if I can bring the guy I just offered up. We can go from there. We shall simulate the 12th week. A much-needed big victory. You love to see it. Efficiency. That's what we need. We need an efficient offense. If we have an efficient offense and our running game does what our running game can do, we're going to be one of the scariest teams in the NFL. And this is a particularly good week because Tyreek Hill wasn't a big factor, but we still moved the ball pretty well through the air. Thanks mostly to Brian Duran, with some decent contributions from our tight ends as well. Yeah. Look at Myles Garrett again. Man, he is balling out this season, my friends. He is balling the fuck out, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Harris, Hooper, and Pardo. How is Pardo doing in his first season? He's got 40 pancakes, 7 whiff blocks, and a sack allowed. That sounds like a pretty good right tackle to me. We got Mullen in. Excellent. What does this give me in cap space for next season? Because I also want to make sure to save some room for big name draft picks. But I think we are going to offer him a new deal. Give me $14 million over 3 years, and let's front load it. And let's see what that convinces him of. If we can get him to sign for that much. That's my bye week, so we just have a nice week to get healthy. Oh my god. No, it wouldn't. What the hell are you talking about? Guys, I don't get it. I don't freaking get it. I don't know why it keeps telling me it would put me over the cap. That is a bald-faced lie. The cap is $260 million. I have $217 million. What the shit are you talking about? Whatever. Another victory. A bit closer this time, perhaps. But our running game got it done again. Jarvis Landry had himself a pretty okay game. How is Brian Duran doing this season? 500 yards, averaging 5 catches a game, 21 first downs, 3 of 20 plus. I think we are ready to give him a bit more of a chance and give him a bigger role in the offense next season. Let's see how we do against the Raiders. Very close game. We really kind of crapped out in the fourth quarter, which is not a good look. Yeah, Cousins wasn't his best. But we still won the game. And you know what? This is a game that last year we would have lost. I feel that with every fiber of my being. This is a game where we weren't as efficient as we could have been, but we still won the game, and that matters a lot. It matters a lot. We're going to lose Clowney for a couple of weeks. That's not great, but we'll survive. We lost to the Packers. We relied a bit too much on Kirk Cousins in this game. I should never see him throwing 50 times a game. But we did fall behind, and we just kind of got shredded. Damn, he's having a good season. Big day for Tyreek. Yeah. They weren't anything special on offense. Their running game was big, and mine was less big, so maybe that's why we lost, but... very critical question is, how are we in terms of playoff positioning? Are we even going to make the playoffs this year? That's certainly not a guarantee of playoff standings right now. We're the 6th seed. Okay. Let us see if we can defeat the Steelers here. I think that's going to be a big deal if we can. Oh, sorry, current games. Give it to me, boys. Let's beat them. That's not winning, that's losing. You did the opposite of what I told you to do. It seems like, here's our big issue. If teams can stop our running game, then Kirk Cousins has to win the game for us. And clearly he can't do that anymore. Not compared to, say, this fuckhead. Yeah, guys, we need to be bigger in these moments if we're going to make it in the playoffs to begin with, but also have a great playoff run, which I'd very much like to do here. Week 18. Do we need to win this game, or are we already in? If we lose and the Patriots win, the Patriots would make the playoffs. Win and we're in. We're guaranteed to be in the playoffs if we win this game. There's nothing anyone can stop us. But if we lose, the Patriots beat us earlier. And I don't know who'd win the tiebreaker between us and the Jaguars, personally. I'd rather not find out. Let's just beat the Bengals, guys, and then we don't have to worry about it. Oh, great. Denzel Ward is... Our top 2 corners are injured. That's everything I've ever wanted and more. Well, here we go. We won. Barely. Oh my word. That was close. Kirk Cousins was efficient. And Nick Chubb had a big day. It seems like those 2 things have to happen for us to have a chance at winning. We missed a field goal, which is not great. But he made the clutch field goal, which is what really matters, right? Owusu Koromo was all over the field. A big day for him. Okay. We faced the Dolphins in the first round of the playoffs. Before we go any farther, clearly we have made leaps and bounds and strides versus what we had last season. There is no disputing that whatsoever. We had ourselves a much better season. And let's look statistically at what changed this season for us. First of all, Kirk Cousins. Almost 4,000 yards passing and 21 touchdowns. A completion percentage of over 65%. And 2% of his passes were interceptions, sacked about 4.7%. The offensive line could have been a bit better this season, for sure. But he wasn't a bad player by any stretch of the imagination. He was efficient, and that's what we needed. Running the ball. Nick Chubb was great. Raymond Hiron was sensational. He came up big in moments when Chubb was getting shut down, and I will always appreciate that. Receiving. Tyreek Hill had an amazing season. Brian Duran was a very versatile second banana. Austin Hooper played big-time moments when we needed them. We're still not great at receiving the ball, though. We're very one-dimensional, which, as opposed to last season, we were zero-dimensional. If another team can shut down Tyreek Hill, we really struggle, and that's not a great look for us. We need the secondary players to really step up a bit more and be productive. Is Brian Duran not very fast? He is not. He's definitely a possession guy. Okay. We could use another top-tier fast guy to get these yards after contact up. Okay. Defensively, Estes and Koromoa were sensational. Both had great seasons, flew around to the ball, lots of tackles for loss. Mullen and Ward were our 1-2 punch with the corners. A great season from John Johnson. And Myles Garrett got 20 sacks. He better be Defensive Player of the fucking Year this time. Delpit, very reliable tackler with 2 interceptions. Jadeveon Clowney got 14 sacks. Stephen Burton was not as disruptive as Tommy Togiai, and that's not ideal. He did start all 17 games. And I'm not unhappy with his production, right? I'm not unhappy with his production. He got 3 sacks, 2 hurries, and 4 knockdowns. And 5 tackles for a loss. I'm wondering if he's a bit too undersized to be a great defensive tackle. We might want to kick him outside of the defensive end position. Maybe he'd be a little bit more effective if he did that. It could also just be you just need some more reps and it'll become a dominant force on the defensive tackle. I don't know what Tommy Togiai's secret is, but he always seems to play big even when he doesn't get a lot of reps. I probably need to give him a bigger role in the defense just because of how productive he is when he does play. 11 tackles for loss from a guy who only started 9 games is pretty great, right? Tomlinson was okay. I mean, he didn't really impress me a huge amount, but you know. Nope. Offense? Yeah, here you go for offensive line. David Pardo is a work in progress. Way too many missed blocks. Jedrick Wills had some issues, as did Dale Terrell, as did James Hudson III. But the good news is when he played, where is Marshall Williams? Marshall Williams was actually pretty effective. 19 pancakes, no sacks allowed, no missed blocks. I think Mr. Pardo's got a ways to go before he'll be a truly exceptional offensive tackle. But he is getting better. He's getting better all the time, and I think he'll just continue to improve his game. We just need to see him be a little bit more consistent, and I think we'll have a nice tackle in our midst. Who else were our rookie draft picks this season? Let's evaluate them all and see how they did. Raymond Hiron was probably the most successful rookie on our team. on earning 4.5 yards a carry as our third down back. Really effective running the football. Not great at catching the ball. That could get a little bit better, but otherwise he was a pretty effective running back, and we got him in the 5th round, so that's a great value, right? Kenneth Dixon didn't play. Did he get any better? He's improving his arm strength, which is very good news. His arm strength isn't... But his arm strength wasn't really the issue. So I'm not sure that's as helpful as it could be. His arm strength... It said there his arm strength was 90. Did I just read it wrong? I sure did. Yeah, those colors are a little bit too similar. He is really strong. Oh, that's his endurance. I see. So we didn't really see much out of Kenneth Dixon, but let's be honest here. Dixon is here in case we need an emergency quarterback, because he's certainly no physical specimen. He's not that impressive. Ben Tail. We got him as an undrafted free agent. Hasn't really played that much. Williams looks good. We had quite a few undrafted guys. Donald Billio spent most of the season playing a fairly minor role. We don't know really what he can do because he basically didn't play. He was on the practice squad. Burton we've already looked at. Harry Garnett didn't get in any games this season, it looks like. And Jason Woodworth didn't get in any games this season. Alright then. So a lot of our picks just didn't play. The ones that did play ranged from very solid to pretty good. But we still need more for this team to be a top-tier team year in and year out. Especially we can't bring back Kirk Cousins, and I don't think we will. I also think we can do better than he. So we're going to try. Wildcard round. Let's freaking go. And we got Roppel stomped in the first round of the playoffs. That wasn't even fucking close. Yeah, Kirk Cousins got intercepted twice. And we fumbled the ball once. Tyreek Hill was great. The rest of the team, not so much. Damn, son. We also barely touched their quarterback, and that's the bigger issue. We have to be an effective pass defense if we're going to have a big game, and we weren't. And that's really what hurt us at the end of the day. Because their quarterback tore us apart. And there's just no getting around that. Their quarterback tore us apart. Oh well. We made the playoffs, though, which is definitely a big improvement from last season. The Saints and the Steelers. Who won the Super Bowl? The Saints. Good for them. Good for them. My friends, colleagues, gentlest of viewers. Let's see who won the season awards, and we'll actually... Okay, Aaron Donald, you're my dude, but Myles Garrett was better than you. Myles Garrett was better than everybody, so I'm going to override this shit. No, I said I wouldn't change it, and I won't. I'm going to leave it alone. Really? Alvin Kamara gets MVP? I mean, I guess. I'm just basically trying to get. That's what I was trying to get to the end, to get through end of season, and that'll get us into a new season. Friends, ooh, who made it from the Browns? Nick Chubb, Wyatt Teller, Tyreek Hill, Myles Garrett. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. My friends, I'm really interested in your thoughts regarding this game. It's getting to the point where we're having a really hard time overlooking the obvious flaws with the engine, especially the financials. I mean, being repeatedly told I can't sign somebody because we'd be over the cap when we won't be. The fact that Patrick Mahomes went unsigned the entire season. Yeah, I'm just not convinced that the financials have to be the number one thing worked on for this game to really be special, in my opinion. You can't have a GM game without reasonably good financials. Also, look at this bullshit. They've had over the active roster. Oh, they probably just had him on the practice squad. That makes sense. But yeah, it's... Yeah, I don't know, friends. I'm really interested to see what you all think, and if you have any suggestions, whether... I mean, I guess I could mess with the financials again, but I don't think that's going to help. The problem is people piss away their cap room. And then they cut players that are actually, like, brilliant. And, yeah. Man. It was a good season. I'm happy that it went as well as it did. It just wasn't good enough. Like, could we win a Super Bowl in the next season or two? Maybe. But as long as these big-time players remain unsigned, and as long as and having to upload a new schedule every season, otherwise we play the exact same schedule all the time, like, a randomized schedule button should just be an option, right? I should be able to go into the schedule tab, and I should be able to hit a button and say, give me a new schedule. Don't make me come up with it. But, friends, I will listen to your thoughtful comments, and maybe you'll convince me that it's worth continuing with the series. But as of right now, I'm not convinced. But until next time, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate your comments. And until next time, this has been Avgardian, and I bid you good day.